Hello and welcome to the Formula Botanica Green Beauty Conversations podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about our award-winning online natural and organic cosmetic science classes, head over to formulabotanica.com and check out our free sample class. In this episode, I interview Samir from CBD of London and chat all things about CBD, how it works, how it functions, and its benefits in skincare. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the podcast, Samir.
Hi there.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I met Samir in February at the Professional Beauty Show in London, and I was really interested about what they were doing. So his brand, his range is called CBD of London. So if you could introduce us, Samir, and your company and what you do and your background, that would be awesome.
Definitely. So for those of you who don't know, CBD of London is a company that I founded. We launched 7 months ago. And to put it very simply, we make some very nice, cool, chic, luxury skincare products that harness the power of CBD. We currently have a free product range, and it's all focusing around anti-aging, blending CBD with the latest in science and skincare. So we've got a few products that we launched in Professional Beauty 7 months ago, where we met Gemma. And it's just gone really, really well. Really, really well. I think when you met us, I remember we had about 7 people with it at that exhibition, and we were just knocked off our feet.
Your store was packed. Yeah, it was. I think you just launched that day or the day before when I met you. It was
definitely. Yeah. It was a bit of a scary moment for us because we've been working on this for around 2 years to get the formulations right and to make sure we had some high quality CBD extracts in our products. We weren't sure if it was going to work, and we received some really good feedback. So we're pleased and we're proud, and we're going full steam ahead at the moment.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening at CBD of London a bit later in the podcast, but the reason why I went over to Samir's stall in the first place was because I'm quite interested in CBD as an ingredient, and obviously in the natural green beauty movement, it's making its appearance, it's rearing its head. People are talking about it as a kind of on-trend ingredient, but also I felt like it was kind of slightly misunderstood. So I wanted to talk to Samir today a little bit more about what is the difference between cannabis plants and oils and CBD.
Definitely. I think that's a really good point to try and clarify at the moment, as there's a lot of confusion in the market at the moment. So I think it's a really good point to bring up. So to put it simply, cannabis is currently a Schedule 1 drug controlled under the Misuse of Drugs Act, which means it has no medicinal value in its raw form. Now, where this differs with CBD is that the MHRA recently recognized CBD for its medicinal value. And this means that you're allowed to sell products on the UK market as long as no medicinal claims are being made.
Okay.
In terms of what CBD actually is and where it comes from, cannabis is made up of over 100 different compounds called cannabinoids. Mm-hmm. The main ones include THC and CBD. Okay. Now, THC is the psychoactive cannabinoid. Yeah. And that's the one that users take to get that high feeling. Yeah. People use that actually. CBD comes from the same plant, but it's completely non-psychoactive, so it will not get you high, and it's not controlled under the Misuse of Drugs Act. And this is where you're finding all of these CBD products, like the oils, the vapes, the gels, the edibles, the creams. They're all getting their CBD from hemp, which is part of the cannabis genes, but essentially it's high CBD, low THC. Okay. So any products you find on the market at the moment will be coming from, the CBD will be coming from hemp.
I think that's a really good, concise explanation, because I know that there's quite a lot of confusion about, oh my God, I'm going to get high by using this. And obviously, there's a very clear distinction. So I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about the endocannabinoid system. So let's just talk a little bit about that as well.
Definitely. I think this is a really important point to make. So before we go on to that, it's important to know that cannabinoids are the name of compounds that make up the cannabis plant. Okay. And there's 100 of them within the cannabis plant. And each cannabinoid is responsible for the characteristics. So that includes the smell, the look, the flavour, the taste, and importantly, the medicinal value. So where the endocannabinoid system comes in, it's actually our body has its own cannabinoid system, which not a lot of people realise. It's only been discovered, and Gemma, arguably this could be the most important discovery to human health in the past 50 years. And what the endocannabinoid system is a system of cell receptors named CB1 and CB2 receptors, and they're found all over the body. Just as a quick example, CB1 receptors are found in the brain, they're found in the pancreas, reproductive organs, in the muscles, and CB2 receptors are found in the liver, in the colon, in the immune system, in the bones. They're all over our body, the cell receptors. And the most interesting part about this is that our body produces its own cannabinoids.
Okay.
So we produce our own cannabinoids. But you can also externally take them through these products, like the oils or the vapes or skin cream. And in doing so, you're taking external cannabinoids, but essentially you're unlocking a response from these CB1 and CB2 receptors. This is why people are using the oils for so many different ailments and concerns, because it unlocks a response from all over the body. So, for instance, the oils, I think one of the reasons they've taken off so well is because someone will be able to use the oil for anxiety, which responds to the brain the CB1 receptors in the brain. But someone would also use the oil if they have muscle or joint pain, which relates to the CB2 and CB1 receptors in the muscles and bones. So it's so versatile, and it really is.
I mean, we've seen so many stories in the press about people making miraculous recoveries from certain diseases and ailments, and CBD changing people's life in terms of mental health, like you say, mental health disorders, and it helping people manage long-term disorders that come along with come with a lot of pain and things like that. So so it's such an interesting ingredient, and obviously it seems like our system is designed to work with CBD and cannabinoids. So let's talk a little bit about what would be the benefit of having CBD or cannabinoids in skincare.
Definitely. I mean, there's so many benefits to having CBD in skincare, not only on a beauty side, but also, for certain skin ailments as well. But all of our products are revolving around anti-aging and this kind of area. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So we think, and there's a lot of research behind this, that CBD is the best anti-aging compound for two main reasons. Because it's a powerful antioxidant, and so a very powerful anti-inflammatory. And just talking about the antioxidant properties at the moment, it mainly works by protecting the skin from free radicals. We all know free radicals are quite bad for the skin. They're responsible for changing skin colour, sagging skin, brown spots, even weakened skin from breaking down elastic fibres. And free radicals are accelerated by things like pollution, smog, dust, cigarette smokes, UV rays from the sun. And free radicals essentially are created in the body as a byproduct when cells create energy, and they're looking for other cells to pair with, hence the name free radicals. But this is where CBD comes in. So as an antioxidant, it provides the missing particle for the lonely free radical, and therefore prevents it from attacking and breaking down your DNA structure. So that's essentially how it works on the antioxidant side. And, there's a lot of research that's gone into this, and a lot of people are finding that it's more powerful as an antioxidant than vitamin C and vitamin E. So it's really, really strong stuff. And the evidence here is so strong that the US government actually holds a patent towards this effect. So it's been known for a while.
Yeah.
But it's coming to light now, I think. I
mean, this is quite amazing news in terms of, like you mentioned, pollution, because obviously I live in London, and obviously there's quite a lot of news articles and panic about the levels of pollution. And you do think, like, gosh, what can I do to try and, I love London. I don't want to leave. It's my home. What can I do to help myself? And obviously CBD can really offer quite a good solution to that.
It really can. I think we're all waking up to the fact that anti-pollution skincare is certainly the way forward. And like you say, if you are living in a built-up city, there's only so much you can do, right?
Yeah.
CBD is probably the way forward towards that effect. But that's just on the antioxidant side. One thing we haven't mentioned is the anti-inflammatory properties as well. So CBD also targets the aging process through its anti-inflammatory interaction with CB2 receptors. And we know aging and inflammation of tissue almost go hand in hand. But there's a lot of studies that have come out over the past year or so that have shown CBD to reduce damage caused by inflammation through something known as oxidative stress. That's a process that protects organs and cell tissues from damage. So CBD really works in two ways, on the anti-aging side and the antioxidant side. That's why it's such a powerful anti-aging compound, and just works so well within skincare.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of anti-inflammatory, do you think it could help with certain, like for instance, if you just have a very reactive skin, like I've got quite pale skin, I've got red hair, I get sensitive to lots of things, and often I'm just looking for something that would like help just soothe.
Definitely. Yeah. I think it's such a good protector more than anything. And when you take it topically, there's so many cell receptors in the skin, which is an organ of the body. By taking CBD, you're stimulating activity in your body's endocannabinoid system, which, it just stops these free radicals from bombarding our skin, and also from UV sources. So it's such a good, powerful compound.
Yeah, so a real powerhouse ingredient, really. So lots of benefits in skincare there. I'm already thinking of loads of different things I could use it for. One of the things I also wanted to talk to you about is extraction methods and quality. So we talked about this before, and because I wanted to know how you got your CBD. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Definitely, and I think I'm really glad you brought this up, because I think, knowing the quality of the products that you're getting, knowing the quality of the CBD is so important, because it relates to the efficacy of the product as well. A lot of people are using oils for certain diseases and ailments. They want to know that this CBD is going to be effective. So it's really important to know that the quality of your CBD. But the kind of questions you should be asking yourself is, where is the source from? Is it organic? Is it full spectrum or single spectrum? How is it extracted? And even go as far to ask for COAs, which are the certificates of analysis that you can actually get from any producer of CBD products. But the reason why this is important is because of something known as the entourage effect. And the entourage effect was found by Dr. Raphael Mechoulam, who's the godfather of CBD. And his research has led us to find that the combination of cannabinoids has a far greater impact on the body than just one single compound alone. So he compares it to an orchestra. To play a beautiful classical piece, you wouldn't just have the brass section. You need strings, you need wind, you need bass, you need drums to play a masterpiece. So it's the combination of all of these cannabinoids that have a much greater effect. And the one thing that you should be looking out for is a full spectrum extract, which means it contains not only CBD, but the other cannabinoids as well. But in terms of the extraction methods, there are many out there, many different ones being used by today's producers. So the main ones are supercritical CO2 extraction versus oil extraction. And now one uses carbon dioxide to extract, and the other uses its own plant materials to extract, or they infuse it with things like oils or olive oil, coconut oil as a carrier. But one of the most important things here when looking at extraction is it decarboxylated or not?
Okay.
And I don't have too many big words, but decarboxylated simply is the process of heating. Usually you would do that to activate the cannabinoids in the raw material. But what a lot of people don't know is that when you heat the raw material above 70 degrees, you actually destroy a lot of the cannabinoids that you've set out to extract. And that's why CO2, non-decarboxylated extraction, is the way forward, as it leaves you with the most amount of cannabinoids and not just CBD. So it's usually a full spectrum extract.
So that's what everybody should be looking for. I mean, do you say that on your bottles and things? I haven't had a look.
Yeah, we do. So we're one of the only people to be doing full spectrum extracts in our products.
Okay.
We also we actually combine it. So we use a full spectrum distillate, but we also use phytocannabinoid rich hemp oil, which means it doesn't just contain CBD from hemp oil, it contains the other cannabinoids as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we do use that, and it's the way forward. That's something you should always look to get.
So one of the reasons why I got really interested in CBD is because obviously there was quite a few kind of debates going on about it. And can I take it? Is it legal? Oh no, we don't want to get hooked on CBD. And obviously there's been a massive debate about, medical marijuana and medical kind of cannabis in the US. And that has trickled into the UK a bit. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how attitudes are changing towards CBD in the UK and the kind of current taboos and issues that we're still dealing with.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's such a controversial thing, isn't it, CBD, because of where it comes from, the cannabis plant. And I know for all my life, cannabis has certainly been prohibited, which means, automatically when someone says to you cannabis, it seems like a bad thing.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it? And there's a lot of, even using cannabis-based products, some people may even feel a bit of shame around that, or they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I think that previously that's because, we didn't understand the plant. We didn't really look into its medicinal value, which now is changing. I think attitudes certainly are changing for the better. And I think it's cases like Billy Caldwell, who I think we mentioned last time we spoke, the young boy who couldn't get his cannabis medicine, obviously here in the UK because it's illegal, he had to go to America. But it's cases like that are capturing the hearts and the minds of the UK and pushing this topic to the forefront, something we should be speaking about now. Yeah, I think attitudes are certainly changing. I also think it's a lot of this will be helped by a greater push on education. Yeah. I think there's still a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there. There's still people that think this is illegal, even though it's not. I think education needs to be at the forefront of this topic. But consumers are becoming a lot more aware with how CBD works and the benefits for them, and cases like Billy Caldwell. So I think it's really helping. And another thing that's definitely working in the favour at the moment is you're getting these cannabis investment firms. You're getting people like Coca-Cola, Estee Lauder, the recent NHS news being allowed to prescribe cannabis in the NHS. That's all helping shape and legitimise cannabis's use as a medicine. And so I think it's really good what's going on at the moment. I just think there needs to be a lot more discussion like we're having now. I think there needs to be a lot more education, and this will change. I mean,
when I was at this beauty exchange event, Canary Wharf, in June, hosted by Enterprise Nation, and Holland and Barrett were there, and they were a part of like a retail panel, and they were saying, "Oh, we're just looking for CBD products right now because they're really kind of hot." I could see there was like kind of like okay. Because I haven't seen that many, it's certainly in the UK. I cannot speak for the US market or markets outside of the UK. But I haven't seen that many CBD skincare products. And it seems like there's a demand for it, and high street retailers are starting to think, hey, hang on, we should be in on this. So let's talk a little bit about what is happening on the high street right now, because I know you have your own news about that. And how kind of things are taking off, because when I met you, I think you'd launched the day before you'd gone live with these products, and it was all like mental and crazy, and your store was packed, and everything is obviously taken off, and we're starting to see CBD becoming more prominent in the high street. So let's just have a little chat about that.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's a really good point. I think you mentioned something about Holland and Barrett earlier.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point, because I think there's still a lot of concern on the high street. That's what I'm finding. Holland and Barrett's the ones probably setting the trends a little bit, but I think there's still a lot of concern and with retailers being associated with cannabis-based products, and I think they still deem it as being quite risky. Yeah. But people like Barrett's taking on CBD oils and CBD-based products, it's definitely paving the way forward. And now I think everybody's going to begin to start jumping on the bandwagon. It's becoming that way. But in terms of what's happening in the high street right now, there's a lot of really exciting things going on. There are large retailers beginning to push a variety of CBD products, like the oils with Holland and Barrett, the vapes, even the water. I don't know if you've seen that one. You can buy hemp water in Sainsbury's and Ocado, and these sorts of things.
I shall have to immediately go and get some. Hemp water, wow. And normally I consider myself quite in the know about these things. I missed that one. Okay, hemp water, I shall have a look at it.
Yeah, you can do that one. But Yeah, I think you're right. The skincare, it's still up and coming. It's still something that not too many people know about it. I still a little bit of ahead of the trend here, but I think you are going to be beginning to see some more cooler, chicer skincare products. And I think that's what's needed. I think for large retailers to be able to accept and bring these products onto the market, the branding needs to be right and the product type needs to be right. You know, no one these days really wants to go and buy, I guess, an ugly looking skincare product more closely related to E45 or something like that.
That kind of clunky looking.
It needs to be a little bit cooler. It needs to take a leaf out of probably America's book, where they're so far ahead with the branding and the product.
But,
so we're going to be the first British brand to get in with a major retailer for skincare, and it's just really nice to be able to be a part of shaping the new CBD or cannabis landscape. It's really nice to be a part. But there's definitely more to come. There's definitely a variety of products coming out at the moment, so you'll see a lot more slowly trickling into the retail stores.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so watch this space. Yeah, the next domination of CBD London. I'm sure we'll see more of you in the coming months. So I think that's pretty much all we have time for now. But I just want to say thank you very much, Samir, for joining us and for taking the time to explain all these things about cannabinoids and the endocannabinoid system and everything. It's certainly new information to me. So thank you so much for joining us.
No worries at all, Gemma. It was an absolute pleasure coming onto your show.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Green Beauty Conversations. And I hope you enjoyed our interview with Samir and found it useful and are a little bit more educated about CBD. If you want to join in the global Green Beauty conversation, head over to our social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Formula Botanica, and find our big Facebook group, Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind, where debates about issues within the green beauty industry are always happening. Thanks again so much for listening.